welcome home.
Hey guys, slight change of scenery today. Baby D is downstairs taking his afternoon nap. Sometimes we get them and sometimes we don't. We're just at that age right now, so not about to go wake him up, but I'm definitely taking advantage of the downtime right now. So let me go ahead and fill you in on this week. But before we get to all of that, there were a few other things that I wanted to cover. This might be a little lengthy, and so feel free to hit the fast forward button. If it doesn't apply, let it fly. And if you just want to check out the reels, you're going to find those towards the end of the clip. Thanks. We had our big homeschooling newbie blunder, and it went something like this. Are you ready for it? I failed to order lyrics curriculum in a timely fashion. I did it. We had so much going on this year.
Guys, I got my first 2 loose teeth. Right here. Right, Mom?
Yes, baby.
I dreamed about it and my wish came true. And I'm sure I'm gonna get $10.
Pretty positive about that one, huh? Yeah. Lyric's really excited about her loose teeth. We're a little late on the wagon there, so I'm actually a little relieved that we finally have a couple of loose teeth. So back to it, we had so much going on. Dover started preschool. We enrolled Lyric in a charter school for homeschool, which was a different approach than what we took last year. And I was just a little overwhelmed, to be honest, learning the language of charter school and specifically like what the protocols were. So naturally, when our teacher of record asked what our course curriculum was going to be for this school year, and she asked for it in writing, I put it in writing and I emailed it off to her. And when she replied, "Great, I'll go ahead and input this," I just made the newbie assumption that that meant that she was going to order it. Apparently that's not what this means. And we kind of learned the hard way. There was like literally T-minus 24 hours before the first day of instruction. And I just had this funny feeling. I'm like, you know, it's been about a week and a half. I haven't received any email updates or anything like that about like all of the just there was a large dollar amount, you know, in curriculum ordered for you know, to get us rolling, and I hadn't heard any updates. And so I sent her a follow-up email just asking for some clarification, and she said, "Oh, no, I am not responsible for ordering that for you. That's something that you need to do on your own." I guess when she said that she would input it into the system, it was really just for her personal records, so that we were on the same page when we did our monthly meetings. So probably will never make that mistake again, and I hope that sharing that slightly embarrassing moment will be helpful to somebody out there doing homeschooling for the first time. Really, it is your responsibility 100% as a parent to take the reins and make sure that all of that stuff is handled. So that's that. We weren't completely high and dry though. Last year during Lyric's kindergarten homeschool experience, we discovered an incredible website called Teachers Pay Teachers. And basically what it is it's a website. It just is the name lends. Teachers can create an account and they can post their content on it, and for a very reasonable price. Other teachers, includes, you know, parents of homeschooling families, can go on the website and browse through just an incredible catalog of information and pick something that would be like, you know, age and skill set appropriate and topic appropriate. So we ended up doing quite a bit of that last year. Cookie's trying to escape. In case you were wondering what that noise was, it's not zombies. So we used that website quite a bit last year. It ended up being super handy. We did some project-based learning, especially towards the end, and got some really cool ideas off of that. I think we did like the life cycle of Ladybug, and we did a lemonade stand where we actually got other neighborhood kids involved in the construction of, and a few other neat things. So it really just sort of brought the community together, and that was a really neat way to end our school year. But I'm getting off topic just a little bit. Back to this year. We have been in school. We're wrapping up our second week, and although we do not have any of our official curriculum for the school year, we have been pulling a lot of stuff off of the Teachers Pay Teachers website. We've been doing a lot of reading and quite a few games as well, which has been kind of exciting. It's a great way to sort of get our feet wet, and I don't feel like we have really missed anything at all by starting our school year off this way. I just don't. In fact, I think that then it's been really like beneficial to sort of like ease back into it. I would like to go ahead and share a couple of the games that we have played. So the first one we actually kind of made up on the spot a couple nights ago. My daughter, I was thinking we should probably do a little bit of math review, which can be a fairly dry subject, although my daughter has stated multiple times that math is one of her favorite subjects, which is just music to my ears. She must get that from my husband. But I figured that it would probably be good to do a little bit of math review. And I had seen a game on Pinterest using a deck of cards. And basically what you're supposed to do is, flip two cards and do any variation of addition, subtraction. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Okay, so we just discovered why Cookie was so adamant about going outside. She needed to use the ladies' room. Back to it, the card game. Basically, you flip two cards, you add them up, or subtract them, or multiply, divide. Really, you can do quite a bit there with a deck of playing cards, apparently. My daughter asked last night what the game was, as I was, asking her from across the hall, hey, do you want to play a quick game before bed? And she said, yeah, what's it called? And I said, oh, it's called Monkey Butt. And she's like, oh, well, how do you play? So basically what we did was, we started with addition, and we flipped the two cards, and then the other person would have to check the first person's work. So if the one card was a number 9 and the other card was a number 4, whoever flipped it had to say, oh, the answer is 13. And the other person would either agree or disagree. And if they disagreed, they would have to call out Monkey Butt, and they'd have to give the correct answer. And then whoever collected the most cards at the end won. It ended up being a huge hit. We played at least 3 rounds, and then ended it with another game that she likes to play. I think it's called Snap. Not math related entirely, but it was a nice way to end our night. My point in sharing all of this is just to be a reminder that school doesn't have to be like super stiff and regimented and rigid. Learning actually happens best when it's supernatural. And especially in my 6-year-old's case, like, she can be a little resistant to some of the more traditional forms of learning. And so we do try to incorporate games even in our regular school schedule. Awesome. So last week I covered the term co-op really loosely, but if you didn't catch it, I definitely encourage you to go back a week if you have any interest in learning a little bit about it, or seeing an example of the co-op that we are clicked up with. I also promised that we would talk a little bit about charter. Once again, this is our very first year going this route, so I'm not going to be a wellspring of information, but I can share some of the information that I know. I will start with the difference between a public and a charter school, and just so that I don't fudge this up, I'm just going to go ahead and read it straight from the methodschools.org website. And what it says is, traditional schools are tied to the state school board's regulations, as well as national standards. Charter schools have more flexibility to design criteria. Instead of being fixed to the state board, charters usually have an independent board that lays out a set of standards and curricula. Okay, so in super layman's terms, what that means is charter schools typically have more flexibility. I'm going to talk really quickly about like some of the major benefits of going with a charter. I kind of picture it as being like homeschool with just a few bumper pads. And that's exactly, I feel like, what we need this school year. It may change as my daughter progresses and as I become more experienced and confident in my capabilities, and figure out like once we fine tune like my daughter's needs as well. But for this year, I'm super excited that we are plugged in with a charter. Interesting fact, homeschooling has actually more than doubled this year from years past. I think it went from like 5.6% to just over 11% of students nationwide. And in some specialty groups, it has actually, the numbers have increased even more. I think that more and more families are seeing that A, it is possible, and B, that there are so many benefits that come with an experience outside of the traditional public school system. And it's not shooting our public school system down. It just means that there's more than one way to do it. So a couple of the major benefits right off the bat with a charter school is A, I still feel like I'm in charge of my daughter's education. B, I still feel that I can educate her in a way that is going to be most beneficial to her specific needs, as opposed to the needs of like 35 plus or minus students in a classroom. C, I am assigned a teacher of record who is a licensed and accredited teacher that is sort of acts as like a support system and keeps us on track, and is also available to answer any questions that we may have about any step along the way. Another major benefit of going the charter school route is, and this is just like a fringe benefit, but a lot of charter schools offer a stipend, and it is typically presented each semester. So we were basically given an allowance, more or less, and we can use that towards textbooks, reading materials, school supplies, consumables. We can use it towards, in some instances, like field trips. We can use it towards extracurriculars if my daughter was interested in signing up for a cooking class or archery. It really is, just a super awesome advantage. The other cool thing about the charter school is it still gives you a sense of being plugged into a schooling community. At the beginning of the week, this week, we actually went to the back to school event, and it was held at the local community center, and it was for our county specifically. And then our charter school actually offered a back to school event for the two other neighboring counties that it represents as well. So we got to meet other homeschooling families. They had several vendors, they had balloon making and a curriculum swap, which was super cool. They also did back to school photos that day, so we got to see a lot of the kiddos dressed up in their Sunday best, and it was just a really neat, positive experience. Very lastly about the charter school is they offer field trips, and I think they're like literally like every 3 weeks a field trip is offered. So basically what you would do is you would log in to the parent portal and you would see what field trips are available. Some of them are available for grade level TK all the way up through 12th grade. Some of them are more grade specific or interest specific, but you basically can either use a portion of your funds, your stipend, and you would just check a box and a signature, or if you would like to pay out of pocket, you would just check another box. And so that's really neat. That's another way that you sort of feel plugged in. And that's a good feeling, because I know when we first made the decision to homeschool our daughter, I mean, like, full disclosure, I kind of just suddenly felt like I suddenly just felt like we had sort of been cast off into the ocean. And it was a little unnerving at first. You know, there was a lot. It was a large learning curve, and I feel like we're still sort of in that learning curve in a lot of areas. But what has helped so much is getting to know other families that are on the same journey. And just on a side note, I feel like that's part of what this vlog is all about. It's just plugging in and showing people that there are so many ways to educate a child in a fulfilling and compassionate way. And also that teachers come in all shapes and sizes and hair colors as well. A couple of like drawbacks, or potential drawbacks, I guess it's not always viewed as drawbacks, to going the charter school method would be that for a public charter school, the curriculum first has to be approved, and second can typically be secular or religious is another term for that. So that's one potential drawback. Another drawback is that you still do have to abide by certain testing standards. You know, there are assessments typically, and once again, that may or may not be a drawback. It just really depends on your personal take on that. But those would be like two of the major ones that I think would be a turn off. And then one last thing that might come up is, well, how do I find the charter schools in my area? That actually was super confusing to me at first. I typed in charter schools, and there's not just like a menu like I would have expected, And if there is, like, please comment in the comment section below, because maybe there is. But basically, I was aware that charter schools existed. They seemed really nefarious to me. I had read a few blogs about people who chose charter as an option. And so following those blogs, they actually had suggested a couple of charter schools by name. And so with that, I Googled them. With one of them, I even filled out the admission paperwork, only to discover that we entered into a lottery with 847 other potential applicants. So apparently a lot of people probably read that blog. I don't know. So we did. We jumped into that lottery, and interestingly enough, we actually were one of the applicants that was chosen from that lottery. So we had the opportunity to go to that charter. However, in the interim, as I've mentioned before, we are plugged in with a co-op, and one day we were sitting there in the circle at said co-op, and some of the other parents were talking about the charters that they were affiliated with, and it really just gave me an opportunity to open up with some of them and get some really valuable information. And from there, I was able to gather a list of charters in our area, and many of them actually also had a waiting list. It wasn't as it wasn't as intimidating as nearly 900 students, and we were able to get into one that we are very happy with. So I hear baby D coming up the stairs right now. That probably means that my time is running low. I'm gonna go ahead and sign off. Lyric has prepared a rock concert with some of her dolls and her babies. So we're gonna go ahead and check that out.
See.
You want bye-byes?
Saying happy and
Huh?
happy.
You're happy?
No.
Oh, I didn't think so. Hey, did you have a nap?
Yes.
Was it nice?
Yes.
Oh, good. Well,
Hey, this my sister older.
over there?
Yes.
Cool. Oh yeah, Dover got a new garbage truck today, huh? How fun.
Oh, Mom. My garbage truck at work.
It doesn't work anymore?
No.
Can I help you fix it?
No.
It's gonna cost you a kiss. Can I have a kiss?
Oh. Minnie.
Hey, where's my kiss?
Right there.
Where?
Right there.
You give me kisses. Come here, right here. Thank you. So the other really cool piece of news is the curriculum, or at least a large portion of it, arrived today. So stick around for the unboxing of that and other reels from our homeschooling experience this week. Thank you. What do you say?
Monkey butt.
Oh my gosh. Oh no. All right. It's a close game. I don't know.
Oh, gee.
What do you got?
Okay. Here's 10.
Yeah, easy. Oh
10,
my
10,
gosh.
10. Oh my gosh, but this one is gonna be hard, so I'm gonna put these here. Okay.
Oh yeah, this is the bonus one. You gotta flip all 3 at the end.
Oh my gosh. If you... Oh my gosh.
You gotta add them all up, right?
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
Good job.
15.
Yeah, you got it. All right, let's count up the cards. Who won? I don't know. My stack is looking pretty thick.
19.
No way, really? Win a chicken dinner! Woo! What do you have to say?
Nothing. But the loser has